We are deep in the middle game, move number 33, and we're going to analyze this from White's perspective. And we're trying to figure out how to get out of this log jam. Clearly, White is ahead in material. What we're going to do is we're going to use a color-coded system. Red for 0 defenders, yellow for 1 defender, green for 2 defenders, light green, and light blue for 3+ defenders, similar to a traffic light. So let's look at Black's position here. These 2 spots are red. They are undefended pieces, so they're potential attacks we could look at. The yellow spots right here, obviously 1 defender. And the green spots, 2 defenders. Now we're not looking at how many like how much work each piece has to do is another thing you could look at here. Another thing we might want to look at is how Black's king can move range-wise. And now let's look at it from White's perspective. We have these 3 pieces right here that have no defenders on them, so they have some vulnerability if put in the wrong spot. And these 3 pieces, or mainly the 2 pieces at the bottom, are tied to defending against a potential pawn storm. Now these yellow pieces right here, these each have 1 defender for White, and the light green pieces right there have 2 defenders. And of course the king can only move in 2 spots, so king mobility is a little bit of an issue for White. Now the question is, what plan do we come up with? Let's look at some options here. One option is the rook on c1. And what I'd like to do, or what we'd like to do here, is try to get this file opened, or get the rook on that file. Unfortunately, if we bring the rook forward to c3, that sets up a potential fork for Black with the b5 square, which would not be good, and that would tip the balance to favor Black in this situation. Another option we have is the queen on e2, and unfortunately for the queen is tied down defending a lot of pieces, so if we move the queen, that would actually make White's defense vulnerable in some areas. Our next option is the knight on f3. There's 3 potential moves for the knight. Now, if we were to go to the e5 square, you'll notice that the d6 pawn, which we have in really good position here, would be lost. So maybe that's not a good idea. Another thing to be concerned about, or at least for White, is these 2 pieces right here working together and creating havoc or tipping the balance toward Black. Our last option is doing something with the bishop. As we can see, the bishop controls the spot right here. One option would be to take the bishop and move it to e5 right there. And the advantage of moving to e5 is instead of protecting 1 piece, it protects 2. Plus, it takes away 3 squares that Black can move on, which would be helpful. And it also frees up an extra space for the king to move, and that's the move I ended up deciding on here, and we'll take a look at how this game plays out. So the plan essentially was to move the bishop forward and work with the knight somehow and try to get the knight set up on an outpost and attack the weak links of Black's defense. Now at this situation right here, I want to move the rook on a3 to f3 so I can free up this file right here, and I'm going to have to give up control of the a6 pawn. And the other advantage White has here is I have this knight, or we have this knight on e7, and it controls all these critical squares, so I'm hoping to try to have the knight and the rook work together in some fashion here. So as we play the game out, we eventually get the rooks into position, and eventually Black gets to the point where it is in checkmate, and White ends up winning the game. And that concludes our video on analyzing a middle game. Thank you for watching.